Thank you very much. Please sit. So the Master of Ceremonies has put me under so much pressure that I'm not sure what I should say now that would be impressive enough to match any of how he's described. Let me begin by saluting the representative of the Senate President, Senator Gershom Bassi, the representatives of ministers present, the head of the civil service of the Federation, Mrs. Didi Wilson-Jacks, the head of service, Ekiti State, Professor Emily Jones, and other faculty members of the AIG Public Leaders Programme and the Lavatnik School of Business of the Oxford University. The chair of the Aig-Imoukhuede Foundation, Mr. Aig-Imoukhuede, CFR, the executive vice chair of the Aig-Imoukhuede Foundation, Mrs. Ufowe Aig-Imoukhuede, the board of the Aig-Imoukhuede Foundation, the AIG Public Leaders Class of 2024, the formidable fourth, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. More recently, large-scale programs such as the privatization of public assets, the school feeding program, serving 9.6 million children daily as of 2019, the digital management of the Empower program, recruiting and deploying workers across all local governments and paying them promptly. These are testaments to what an effective public service can achieve. The same public service, alongside the Bank of Industry, delivered the Government Enterprises and Empowerment Program called JEEP, the award-winning growth platform, which won both the World Bank Award as well as the AFDB Award for microcredit. That was the biggest, largest government-run microcredit scheme in Africa, using so-called human banks. And these human banks, of course, are mobile agents, human beings, equipped them with technology that enable them to capture beneficiary data quickly and easily in the field and manage beneficiaries throughout their credit or financial services journey. But when public service delivery breaks down, the consequences ripple across the economy. I recall, as Attorney General of Lagos State, reading a report on the housing shortage in the city of Lagos. And one major cause that was identified was the slow resolution of landlord and tenant disputes in the magistrate courts, which discouraged investments in rental properties. Tenants would occupy homes without paying rent for years. Once they paid the 1 year or 2 years advance, thereafter, they would simply not pay anymore, while the cases dragged on in the courts. The result was that those who would have invested in low to middle level houses for rent invested instead in stocks, shares, and other things. But this particular story ended well because the solution was also designed by the public service. The Ministry of Justice, Lagos State then created citizens mediation centers. And these were trained mediators who were at first lawyers in the Ministry of Justice, who successfully concluded over 8,000 cases annually. These are landlord and tenant cases, compared to fewer than 2,000 in the magistrate courts. So clearly, when public systems fail, everyone suffers. But when the public service sees itself as a resource to solve problems, the possibilities for transformational change are limitless. Consider again the daily challenges that entrepreneurs face when trying to register companies, to secure certifications, or obtain necessary approvals. Every time there is a delay, or every time some public officer tells them to come back next week, instead of resolving the issues today, we're not just postponing one person's success and prosperity, but postponing opportunities for many others. whose livelihoods depend on that business succeeding. In short, when a public officer becomes an obstacle, they directly undermine national prosperity. And in today's volatile, uncertain, complex, and global environment, governments and the services that they provide must be agile, must be innovative, must be scalable, must be effective. In any event, effective policymaking must respond to the evolving realities. Innovation is no longer optional. It's a core function of governance. So regulatory frameworks must continuously respond to new developments in order to unlock the opportunities while protecting the public interest. An effective public service today must also see the private sector as crucial partners. The public service exists to facilitate enterprise and to support the private sector. And this fact is a fundament of a dynamic and productive relationship between the public and private sectors in our nations. In 2016, for instance, as young entrepreneurs in Nigeria sought to build digital payment platforms, outdated regulations recognized only the traditional banks. The Central Bank of Nigeria, however, responded creatively, establishing the Payment Service Provider License Framework. And this categorized licenses into 4 broad groups. They issued licenses for switching and processing. This is backbone infrastructure for payment processing companies. So companies like InterSwitch, like Unified Payment Services Limited, like eTransact, started to do business effectively. They issued mobile money operations licenses, the MNO licenses, for digital wallets and mobile payments. So companies like Paga and OPay and Kuda, the Kuda Microfinance Bank, and PalmPay, etc., were able to give birth to their businesses and grow their businesses effectively. Payment solution services covering the super license, which is agent network management for financial inclusion, like First Money Agents, etc. They also created the regulatory sandbox licenses for innovators who are testing new products under CBN supervision. These rules, developed by public servants working with industry players, enabled a new generation of fintech companies, fostering a revolution that has produced 5 or 6 unicorns. And these are companies valued at over $1 billion today. Today, Nigeria is recognized as the leading fintech hub in Africa, attracting major global investments and partnerships, all because public servants work with industry to develop forward-thinking solutions. This spirit of innovation is precisely why the AIG Public Leaders Programme is so vital, because it empowers participants to imagine possibilities, to test bold ideas, and design practical solutions. And it instills the understanding that real change begins with imagination, followed by disciplined execution of ideas. I've been inspired reading some of the remarkable 68 projects emerging from this program. From a project on leveraging mobile technology to expand mental health services, to another developing AI-powered knowledge management tools, another one creating employee feedback platforms, and yet another digitizing government processes, and one even designing a framework to address workplace sexual harassment in a particular ministry, whose name I will not mention. Each of these innovations began as a simple idea, but has the potential to profoundly transform public service delivery. I think from here on, you must see yourselves as inventors, not of devices or machines. You are public service scientists, just as technology scientists engineer groundbreaking technologies. You are inventors of bold new systems and processes that transform how vital public goods and services can reach millions of people. Technology scientists create the products that power our daily lives. Public service scientists create the systems that protect them, ensuring that health, safety, education, and opportunity reach every corner of society, not as a privilege, but as a promise. In any event, I'm convinced that the way you've been challenged in these past 6 months to solve real-life problems through leadership, creativity, and innovation, your approach to public service will never be the same. And this is the essence of transformative leadership, seeing problems not as obstacles, but as opportunities to build the future that we all desire. As you continue in your respective roles, I encourage you to carry this mindset forward. The prosperity of our nations depend on the diligence, integrity, and vision and creativity of public servants. And with programs like the AIG Public Leaders Programme, nurturing such talent, I'm optimistic about the future of the public service in Nigeria and indeed across Africa. So let me end by congratulating the class of 2024 and to wish you all the very, very best in the coming years. And we're all going to be looking out for the great and innovative things that you're going to be doing in the public service of Nigeria. Thank you very much.